What's up, awesome family? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day and welcome back to another lit vlog. Not vlog, reaction video. I think this is episode 7. We getting closer in the episodes. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay about there. But this is episode 7 and we're just gonna get straight into it. But basically it's about a girl. I'm just making up stuff. I don't know what the heck this story is about. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Ooh. Gotta rub this in for sure. Alright.
My name is Elizabeth, and I would like to tell you a story from which I realized how important it is to be yourself in any circumstance. It all started when I was just dreaming of going to school.
Alright.
I imagined how I would sit at my desk in the classroom, listen carefully to the teacher, and chat with my friends at recess. School life seemed so interesting to me. And so, the time to start the school year has come. Unfortunately, I became very ill, and I could not attend school for the first few weeks. In order to keep up with my classmates, I had to study at home on my own. It was not easy, and I often needed the help of my parents, as there was no one else to explain the new material to me. I was happy when the doctor said that there was nothing more to worry about, and I could start going to school. The next day, the teacher introduced me to the classmates. Alas, the reality appeared to be far from my dreams. My classmates had already divided into small groups, and I didn't seem to fit in anywhere. I did not want to join the boys, but the girls were not happy to accept me to them. Fortunately, I was still able to find common grounds with some of the boys. They turned out to be very funny and provocative. They even argued who would be my desk partner. A little later, I found out that many of my classmates liked me, and some of them were really in love with me. But the girls still
I don't know about
me.
all that.
Every time I tried to make friends with them, brought cookies or other sweets, they only got mad at me and asked me to leave them alone. It turned out that the girls from my class liked some of my boyfriends, but the boys used to spend more time with me rather than with any of the other girls from our class. The girls were jealous of my popularity. They gossiped behind my back, belittled me in every possible way, and simply hated me. I never managed to find even a single true friend for several years. The girls didn't want to make friends with me, while the boys just venerated me blindly. I was very lonely. But soon, I got a chance to make it up. One day, my parents told me that we had to move. My dad was transferred to another office, which was quite far from our home. So I got the opportunity to start a new life.
So what if this is worse? You don't know if this is worse. So why is you getting excited? Wait till you get there to get excited. Like, come on now.
A week later, we moved to another city, and I went to a new school. I was not going to repeat the previous mistakes. Well, I was still a pretty beauty, but at least I could do something about it. I came up with a plan, codenamed Simpleton. I began to comb my hair improperly. Sometimes I used to forget to press my sporting fitness, and there was always a mess in my bag. I had just casually brushed textbooks, notebooks, and other trifles there. My classmates saw all this and often grinned. It was funny for them that such a cute girl could be such a sloven. However, I managed to make my first friends.
You disgust me.
We started to walk after school together, sit in the school cafeteria at the same table, and chat about different nonsense, such as high fashion, celebrities, and guys. I could not say that these were the topics that I really wanted to discuss, but I had no choice. Besides, I had dreamed about having friends for such a long time.
You do not want friends that badly, okay? If they don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, then leave. Get a life. Like, you do not want people that badly.
I didn't want the girls to see me as their rival, so I always belittled myself in everything. Once I even specifically failed the exam, although I could pass it perfectly. I also did not participate in school academic and sport competitions. I've been afraid that if my friends find out about my successes, they will envy and cease to be my friends. And of course, I was afraid of guys most of all. I knew that they liked my appearance and easy disposition, So I did everything so that they didn't even have a thought to come up to me. Once, my friends and I bought several buns in a cafeteria for a snack. Before dinner, the girls went to the restroom to put on some makeup, and I stayed in the corridor.
Hold on, let's replay that right there.
Ceased to be my friends. And of course, I was afraid of guys.
Okay, so they just bought their lunch in the bathroom. Watch this.
Most of all. I knew that they liked my appearance and easy disposition, so I did everything so that they didn't even have a thought to come up to me. Once, my friends and I bought several buns in a cafeteria for a snack. Before dinner, the girls went to the restroom to put on some makeup, and I stayed in the corridor. Suddenly, I heard a conversation from guys standing nearby, looking at me. They said that I was sweet, and it would be nice to get acquainted with me. I looked at them too, and realized these were the same guys my girlfriends were crazy about. But what will happen to our friendship if my friends find out that I occupy the minds of their chosen ones?
Disintegrate.
I had to do something urgently. I immediately grabbed...
Where did our lunchbox go? Hold up. This
But what will happen to our friendship if my friends find out that I occupy the minds of their chosen ones? I had to do something urgently. I immediately grabbed one of the buns and started to eat it right in the corridor. I was biting off indecently huge pieces and did not pay attention to the crumbs that were strewing onto my blouse. Those guys looked at each other in surprise and left, laughing awkwardly. I realized that I really looked unattractive at that moment. I let out a sigh of relief because the relationship with my friends was out of danger again. Soon the girls left the restroom and saw me with a half-eaten bun in my hands. Of course, they laughed at me and said that if I do this often, then I will never have a boyfriend. I pretended that I did not care about my reputation at all and brushed away carelessly. I continued to make a fool of myself and did a lot of other stupid things. I just tried to be funny and non-feminine as much as I could. And then a new girl was transferred to our class. Her name was Mila. She looked very modest and even a little bit frightened. So she quickly became the subject of gossips and ridicules of my classmates. Girls constantly spoke nasty things about her, joked about her appearance, and supposedly limited intelligence. My friends were not an exception, and often scoffed at her. I just laughed in response, and used to say different taunts as well.
They're not your
I saw
friends.
Mila's lowered shoulders and sad eyes. More importantly, I saw her loneliness. But I was afraid to object to classmates and stand up for a new girl. This courage could cost me everything that I have sought so long and stubbornly. Nevertheless, I felt guilty every day. I was ashamed for every thrown-out pencil, torn notebook, or a bad word written on the desk, though I had never done anything like that to Mila myself. I sympathized with her, but could not do anything to help her. Once, my friend stole a school uniform from Mila's locker and hid it in a warehouse with sports equipment. Physical education was the last lesson that day. When it was over, the girls watched Mila looking for her clothes with no result for a long time. After having enough fun, they simply went home, leaving Mila alone with her problem.
It's tough.
I remained in the classroom because I was a hall monitor that day. After I went out from school, I saw Mila sitting on a bench and crying softly. I walked by, stone-faced, trying not to notice her. I knew that I was doing wrong. I felt scrapped out and was ready to start crying myself. So I came back. Mila was still sitting on the bench and hiding her face in her hands. I went to her and told her where her school uniform was. I even helped her to find it in the warehouse, but on the condition that she would not tell anyone about what I did. You see, I took a big risk lending her a helping hand. If my friends found out about this, they probably would have quarreled very much with me. The next day, my friends started a stupid game. They decided to cover one of Mila's textbooks with drawings. They already took it out of her backpack and prepared pens, but I pulled it out of their hands. I saw indignation in the eyes of my classmates, so I hastened to make excuses, saying that the spoiling of a textbook was a serious thing and we could be punished for it. Then they offered to cut one of her notebooks, but I objected again, saying that if we damage her property, we would end up having a very unpleasant talk with Mila's parents. My friends agreed with reluctance and returned to their places, saying that I was kind of strange that day. I could not understand myself why I stood up for Mila, but I felt that I was doing the right thing. After all, I was not the kind of person who would humiliate others for my own fun. I knew deep down in my heart that I should do the right thing. On the next recess, my friends began to scoff at Mila again. This time, they decided to play with the doggy and started to throw her pencils case through the whole classroom.
In the middle?
The boys joined the game, and Mila was only wasting time, running from one person to another. The girls laughed evilly, watching her torment, and again I decided to stand for her. Giving a sign to one of the guys, I got a pencil case in my hands and immediately returned it to Mila in front of everyone. The girls began to resent me again, but I did not care about it. I was very angry. How can anyone laugh at a
Bro, you gotta give me that for that one. Woo! Let's all give it up for the person who's built like a pill. Happy for her, bro. Thank you. Even though you built like that, it's okay. It's alright. It's okay.
Person in trouble, I turned to them and had a real angry tirade. I told them that mocking a defenseless classmate is very bad, and that did not reflect well on anyone. Mila was standing timidly behind me, but my friends became furious. One of them even pushed me on the shoulder and added that we were no longer friends, since I dared to talk to them like that. I did not respond to such an absurd statement. I realized that the friendship that I used to cling to so desperately all this time was not worth it at all, and these people have never been my friends. And so the girls started to avoid me again, just like it was in my old school. Soon they stopped screwing with Mila too, and as the result, we were left behind together. Little by little, we began to communicate with each other. It turned out that Mila and I had a lot in common. We both loved art, studies, and just learning something new. We had always had something to talk about and something to share. We put up and became friends very quickly. Together with my new friend, I found a confidence in myself too. Firstly, I stopped pretending to be a Slavin and hide my dignity, fearing someone else's envy. Secondly, I gained my former popularity very soon, which incredibly spilled from the girls in my class. They started to gossip again behind my back, but I no longer paid any attention to it, because I was no longer alone. I had a best friend. So, here is my story. I realized that true friends will always cherish you and accept you for what you really are. Do you have best friends? Tell me in the comments how you met them. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel.
Shut up. That's what they need to do to my channel. But I have best associates. I never, ever have friends. I don't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, she built like a pill and she made friends. I'm sorry, but she just is. It bothers me. Why she have to draw herself like that? Like any other animation, if you seen episode 6 of the animation, then you should have saw like they weren't built like that. Like, it's crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video, episode 7 of the reaction video. Remember, we're making this a season. But in the meantime, you know what to do. Stay awesome, be awesome, embrace awesome, and live awesome. Peace. Love you guys. Don't forget, merch is dropping soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. Ah! But seriously, peace out. See y'all guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Because I might drop another banger tomorrow. Peace.